The sun was setting over the human colony, casting long shadows across the dusty streets. Everyone was busy closing their shops and heading home, laughing and talking, but a soft sound broke through the noise. A faint cry came from the edge of the colony, small and weak like a whisper of wind. No one paid attention at first, thinking it was the wind or an animal. But the sound grew louder, trembling with fear and hunger. I'm dying. Please, feed me, the voice said, soft and desperate. A woman appeared, walking slowly and unsteadily, her clothes torn and dusty. Her skin was pale with a faint greenish hue, and her eyes glowed slightly under the dim light. Her hair was tangled and her face was covered in dirt, yet she looked strangely beautiful, with delicate features and sad eyes. The humans passing by stared at her with fear and disgust, whispering, "Look at her. She's strange. She's dangerous." Some threw food scraps at her to scare her away, while others shook their heads and hurried off. She fell to her knees near a broken wall, shivering, her hands touching the ground for support. Her soft voice called again, "Please, just a little. I'm so hungry." A few children watched from a distance, hiding behind crates, too scared to move. An old man muttered, "Stay away, girl. She's not one of us," and walked on. The woman's lips trembled, but she did not cry, her body shaking from hunger and exhaustion. Among the crowd, one human stood quietly, watching her from the shadows. He was young, tall, and strong, but his eyes were filled with curiosity and concern. He thought, why is no one helping her? Why is she alone? His heart ached as he saw her struggle to stand, her knees scraping against the stones. He could see that she was different, not like humans, but she looked harmless and weak. The woman tried to reach a small puddle of water, but she stumbled, almost falling. Her hands touched the dirty water, and she drank slowly, her lips trembling. Her stomach growled loudly, echoing in the silent street, making the humans around turn away in disgust. The young man finally stepped forward. Holding a small loaf of bread from a nearby store, he knelt down and placed it in front of her. Careful not to frighten her, the woman looked up, her glowing eyes meeting his. Filled with hope and fear, she whispered, "Thank you." Barely able to form words, she reached for the bread slowly, as if afraid it might disappear. The humans around them stared, whispering, "Why are you helping her?" "Don't touch her. She's strange." But the young man ignored them, his heart telling him that she needed help. As she ate, the young man noticed her hands shaking, and her thin arms looked fragile. Her body was small and weak, but her eyes held a strange light, almost like a secret power. He thought, who is she? Where did she come from? Why is everyone afraid of her? The woman paused between bites, looking around nervously, and whispered, They want to hurt me." The young man's heart skipped a beat, realizing she was telling the truth and danger was near. Suddenly, a loud shout came from the street behind them. "Get her! She's not welcome here." Several humans ran towards them, waving sticks and throwing rocks. The woman froze, her eyes wide with fear, and her lips quivered. "No. Please, I don't want to fight." The young man stood in front of her, blocking the angry humans with his body. He shouted, "Stop! Leave her alone! She hasn't done anything wrong." The humans hesitated, surprised by his courage, but their anger did not fade. The woman crouched behind him, trembling, and whispered, "Thank you. I don't know how to repay you." The young man smiled slightly. "Just stay safe. That's enough for now." He looked around, thinking of a place to hide her, somewhere safe, away from the crowd, but he knew it would not be easy. The humans here were not kind to strangers, especially not to someone who looked different. The sun disappeared behind the horizon, and the sky turned dark. The colony streets became quieter, but the threat was still there. The woman finished the bread, her stomach still aching, but a little stronger now. She looked up at the young man, her glowing eyes filled with trust and hope, and in that moment, he knew that helping her was only the beginning, and a dangerous, mysterious journey was about to start. The night was silent, but whispers of fear and curiosity floated in the air. The young man took her hand gently, leading her away from the crowd. She followed him carefully, trusting him completely, and as they disappeared into the shadows, the colony behind them seemed to hold its breath. Something strange and extraordinary had arrived, and no one knew what it would bring. The night was quiet, but the colony streets still felt alive with whispers and fear. The young man led the alien woman through narrow alleys, keeping his eyes on every shadow. Her hands were small and trembling in his, but she held on tightly, trusting him completely. She whispered, "Will they follow us?" Her voice soft and trembling. He shook his head. "I hope not. But we must be careful. They do not understand you." They reached an abandoned building at the edge of the colony, broken walls and old windows giving it a cold, empty look. The young man helped her inside and closed the door quietly. Listening for footsteps outside, the alien woman sank to the ground, her knees folding under her weak body, and sighed. I thought no one would help me." He knelt beside her, offering water from a small bottle he carried. She drank slowly, her glowing eyes reflecting the dim light, and whispered, "Thank you." "Human," he studied her closely, noticing how strange and beautiful she was. Her skin was almost glowing faintly, her eyes a color he had never seen before. Her fingers were long and delicate, and her voice carried a melody that seemed to echo in his mind. He asked softly, "Where did you come from? Who are you?" The woman shook her head, avoiding his gaze. "I cannot tell, not yet. They will find me." A small, strange sound came from her body as she shivered. Almost like a soft hum, he looked closer and saw her hands emitting a faint glow. Pulsing like a heartbeat, he gasped softly, realizing she was not an ordinary human, but something extraordinary. "Are you alive like this, or something else?" he whispered, fascinated. The alien woman looked at him carefully, her eyes full of fear and trust. I am like you, but not entirely." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from outside the building, startling both of them. The young man rose quickly, placing himself between the door and her. She crouched behind him, her hands glowing faintly, a soft light spreading across the wall. "Stay back," she whispered urgently. "They are here. They can sense me." He nodded, gripping a broken pipe from the floor. Ready to defend her, the shadows outside grew darker. Footsteps approaching and whispers filled the night. The young man and the alien woman held their breath as the door rattled from a strong push. A figure appeared, silhouetted against the moonlight. Looking for her, the alien woman raised her hand slowly, and a small shockwave of light pushed the figure back slightly. The young man stepped back in surprise. What are you doing?" he asked, amazed and scared. She whispered, I can protect myself, but only a little." The intruder left quickly, retreating into the darkness, and silence returned. The young man exhaled. You're powerful." She shook her head. "Not really. I cannot fight them all. Only small things. Only to survive." He sat beside her, thinking about what he had just seen. This woman, this alien, was not just starving and weak. She held something dangerous, beautiful and mysterious inside her. As the night grew colder, the young man offered her some dry bread he had brought. She accepted it, eating slowly. Her glowing eyes watching him carefully, she whispered, You are different. Humans usually turn away." He smiled slightly. "I cannot ignore someone in need, even if they are strange." Her eyes softened, and a faint glow surrounded her, almost like a smile. For the first time, she felt safe, even if only for a short while. He noticed the glow spreading from her hands and asked, "Can you show me more? How?" "What you can do?" She shook her head quickly. "No, not now. I cannot control it fully, and it will scare you, and others." He nodded, understanding. "Then I will wait. I want to help, and learn slowly." She looked at him, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and trust. "Why, are you helping me? When others hurt me?" He shrugged softly, "Because it is right. And I cannot leave you alone." The night passed slowly, filled with whispers and quiet moments. The alien woman shared small things about herself, simple stories of hunger, fear, and running from danger. The young man listened, fascinated, feeling a bond growing between them. He realized that this was only the beginning. Her story, her powers, and the danger following her were bigger than he had imagined. And outside, in the dark, unseen eyes were watching, waiting for the right moment to strike. The first contact had been made. A connection between human and alien, fragile but real. Both knew that the world outside was not safe, and every step would be a test of courage and trust. The alien woman rested her head on her knees, glowing softly, and whispered, "Thank you, human, for believing in me." He smiled, looking at her glowing eyes, knowing that helping her was not just kindness. It was the start of a story that could change everything. And in the shadows outside, danger waited patiently, ready to test the bond they had just formed. The first light of morning crept over the colony, painting the streets in soft gold and orange. The alien woman sat quietly in the corner of the abandoned building, her glowing eyes dimmed with tiredness. The young man handed her a small piece of bread and a cup of water, but she shook her head, refusing. I cannot eat much. I am not used to human food. It will make me sick, she whispered softly. He nodded, understanding that she was fragile, and said, Then just rest. I will watch over you. The night had revealed her powers, and the young man could not stop thinking about them. Her glowing hands, the small shockwave that pushed the intruder back, these were signs of something incredible, something dangerous. He wanted to ask her more, but he also knew that she might not be ready to speak. For a long moment they sat in silence, broken only by the faint wind outside and the distant sounds of the colony waking. Finally, the alien woman spoke, her voice low and careful. I cannot stay long. They will find me. My people, the Empire. They hunt me. The young man frowned. Your people? You mean aliens? Are you saying your own kind wants to hurt you? She nodded slowly, her eyes filling with sadness. Yes, I was different. Weak and useless to them. They cannot tolerate weakness. He listened, shocked, feeling a mix of fear and sympathy. I don't understand. Why would anyone hurt someone like you? He asked, his voice shaking slightly. Her eyes glowed faintly again, and she looked away, shivering. They believe in strength. Only the strong survive. The weak, like me, are left to die or worse, used for experiments. The young man clenched his fists, anger rising inside him. That is cruel. No one should be treated like that. I will protect you. She looked at him carefully, her eyes full of both hope and fear. I do not know if anyone can. Even you, they are everywhere. The young man thought quickly. Then we need a plan. A safe place, somewhere they cannot find you. She shook her head. No place is safe. Not for long. They have trackers, sensors. They will follow. He frowned. Then we have to move. We cannot stay here. They will find you soon. She bit her lip nervously, looking down at her hands. I can help, but only a little. My powers. They are not strong enough yet. The young man noticed her glowing fingers again, the faint pulse of energy running through them. He wondered what else she could do, and how dangerous it might be if her enemies found out. He said carefully, Show me, just a little, so I can understand and help you better. She hesitated, then slowly extended her hand, and a small sphere of soft light appeared. Floating between her fingers, it hovered in the air, spinning gently. Glowing with a warm golden hue, he watched, amazed. Incredible. You can create light. Control energy. She nodded, but her voice was trembling. It is only small. I cannot do much yet. And using it draws attention. I must be careful. He placed his hand on hers, steadying it. Then I will help. We will practice slowly, together. Her eyes softened. And for the first time she smiled faintly, a small glow spreading across her face. But the moment of peace was broken by a distant sound, a low hum, like machinery moving through the streets. Her eyes widened, glowing brighter. They are close. The Empire. I can feel them. The young man stood quickly, heart racing. Then we must go. Now, before they find us. She nodded, gathering what little strength she had, her glowing hands brushing against the walls. They moved silently, slipping through broken alleys and abandoned buildings. Avoiding the main streets, every shadow seemed dangerous. Every sound made them freeze. She whispered softly, They are not human. Their senses. Different. They can smell fear and weakness. He realized the danger was greater than he had imagined, but he could not leave her alone. He held her hand tightly, guiding her through the maze of streets. We will make it. Just stay close, trust me. Or she nodded, her glowing eyes fixed on his. And for a moment, she allowed herself to believe that someone cared. But even as they moved, he knew the Empire's agents were already tracking them, closing in silently. The hidden secrets of her past, her powers, and the Empire's cruel plans were slowly revealing themselves. And the young man understood that helping her was only the beginning of a dangerous journey. One that would test courage, trust, and hope like never before. As the sun rose higher, casting light on the colony, the alien woman and the young man disappeared into the shadows. They were no longer just two strangers, they were allies, bound by trust, fear, and the hope of survival. And somewhere in the distance, unseen eyes watched them carefully, waiting for the right moment to strike. The first secrets had been shared, but the true danger was only beginning. The sky turned dark quickly as clouds blocked the sun, casting the colony streets in deep shadows. The young man and the alien woman ran through narrow alleys, their footsteps echoing on the cold stone. Her glowing hands lit the path just enough to see, but not enough to draw attention. Behind them, the distant sound of heavy boots and low mechanical hums grew louder. "They are close, too close," the alien woman whispered, fear trembling in her voice. The young man glanced over his shoulder, heart pounding. "We cannot stop. Keep moving, trust me." She nodded, her eyes wide, glowing faintly in the darkness, and ran faster, stumbling over broken stones. They ducked behind a pile of crates, breathing hard, trying to calm the rising panic. A loud shout came from the shadows. "There! Don't let them escape!" Several humans and alien agents appeared, armed and dangerous, their eyes scanning every corner. The young man grabbed a rusty metal pipe from the ground, ready to defend her. The alien woman crouched behind him, her glowing hands trembling. "You can do it. Small shocks. Just to stop them," she whispered. He nodded, his grip tightening on the pipe, and stepped out, swinging at the nearest attacker. A small flash of light from her hands pushed another one back, and he ducked just in time. The chase continued through the winding streets, alleys, and broken buildings. The alien woman's powers grew stronger as fear and adrenaline coursed through her. She whispered softly, I cannot control it fully, but I can slow them." A sudden pulse of energy shot from her hands, hitting a mechanical drone chasing them. The drone sparked and fell, giving them a few precious seconds to escape. The young man looked at her in amazement. "You're incredible, but dangerous too." They ran past an old warehouse, the door half open, and slipped inside quickly. The building was dark, filled with boxes and broken machinery. A perfect hiding spot for now. They crouched behind a large crate, listening as the sounds of pursuit grew fainter outside. The alien woman whispered, "They will not give up. They never do. They are patient." He nodded. "Then we have to be smarter." "We cannot just run forever. We need a plan." She looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting fear and trust. I can help, but it is risky. I can sense them. Their presence." He frowned. "Then show me. We will use it to our advantage and to escape." She closed her eyes, concentrating, and the glow from her hands spread across the warehouse floor. Her energy created faint images of moving shadows, confusing the agents outside. The young man realized that with her powers, they could survive, but only if they were careful and clever. Suddenly a loud crash echoed from above, and the roof shook slightly, dust falling around them. The agents were entering the building from the upper floor. Their voices low but urgent, the young man whispered, "We must move. Now follow me." They slid behind a pile of crates, then through a narrow gap in the wall, leading to an old stairway. The alien woman's glowing hands lit the steps just enough. Revealing broken and dangerous boards, they climbed quietly, hearts pounding, every sound threatening to give them away. As they reached the top floor, the young man paused, listening. The agents were searching below, unaware of their presence. He whispered, "We need to split up. It is the only way. You go one way, I will create a distraction." Her eyes widened in fear. "No, I will not survive alone." He placed his hand gently on hers. I will meet you at the safe place, or trust me." She nodded reluctantly, her hands glowing brighter, filling him with warmth and hope. He ran down the opposite stairway, shouting and throwing debris to draw attention. The agents below turned towards him, their focus shifting away from her. She slipped quietly through a hidden door at the back of the building, her glowing hands guiding her path. Her heart raced as she realized the danger was real and relentless. But for the first time, she felt hope that the young man would help her survive. Outside, the colony was dark and empty, but danger lurked in every shadow. The chase had revealed that the Empire's agents would not stop, and their power was greater than she had imagined. The young man and the alien woman were no longer just survivors, they were fighters, bound together by trust, courage, and desperation. And even as they disappeared into the night, their enemies continued the hunt. The real danger had only begun, and the path ahead was uncertain, filled with traps, secrets, and challenges they could not yet imagine. The colony lay quiet under the pale light of the moon, but danger was still close. The young man crouched behind a pile of crates, listening to the distant hum of the Empire's machines. He knew they were relentless, and every second counted. The alien woman sat beside him, her glowing hands faintly illuminating the dark alley. I cannot keep running forever," she whispered, fear in her voice. He nodded. "Then we will escape, but we must be smart. There is a way, if we act fast." She looked at him, her eyes wide. What do you mean?" He pointed to an old broken transport vehicle parked near the edge of the colony. "It can get us out, far from the city, but we have to reach it before they find us." Her eyes glowed faintly with hope. "Then, we must go, now." They slipped silently through narrow streets. Avoiding patrols and moving shadows, every step was a test of courage. Every corner hiding possible danger. She held his hand tightly, her glowing fingers giving him a faint warmth. "Can you use your power to stop them?" he asked, glancing behind at the approaching hum. She nodded, trembling. I can, but only briefly. It will take energy." Suddenly, a drone appeared ahead, hovering low and scanning the street. The alien woman raised her hands and a pulse of light shot out, temporarily blinding the drone's sensors. It crashed to the ground with a loud spark, giving them a few precious seconds. The young man grabbed her hand. "Quick! Move!" They ran faster, dodging debris, leaping over broken fences and sliding under low walls. As they reached the transport vehicle, they realized the door was locked. Rusted shut, the young man cursed softly. Of course, nothing is ever easy. She knelt beside him, glowing hands brushing the lock, and a small spark of energy melted the rust just enough for the door to open. He looked at her in awe. "You're amazing." "You really are." She smiled faintly. "We have no time. Go, inside. Quickly." They jumped inside, the old engine coughing to life as the young man forced it to start. Outside, the hum of the Empire's agents grew louder, their shadows moving closer. The alien woman gripped the edge of the seat, her glowing hands lighting the interior. "We cannot." "Stop, they will catch us." She whispered, panic in her voice. He nodded. "Then we drive, fast as far as we can, and find a hiding place." The vehicle jolted forward, wheels squealing against the rough road. They weaved through narrow streets, dodging obstacles and ruined buildings. The Empire's drones followed, their sensors scanning desperately for the alien woman. She raised her hands, sending small pulses of light, disrupting their sensors just enough to confuse them. The young man glanced at her. "Keep doing that. It's working." "We're not out yet." They reached the edge of the colony where a dense forest began. The trees. "We can hide there," he said, hope rising in his voice. She nodded, glowing brighter as they turned into the forest path. Branches whipped past the vehicle, leaves falling like rain around them. The drones struggled to follow through the thick trees, their signals growing weaker. Suddenly, a loud crash came from behind. One of the Empire's machines had followed too closely. The alien woman's hands glowed intensely, and a pulse of energy erupted, knocking the machine off the road. The young man looked at her in shock. "That was incredible. But you need rest." She shook her head. "No, we must keep moving. They never stop." Finally, they reached a small clearing deep in the forest far from the colony. The young man stopped the vehicle, breathing heavily, and looked at her. "We made it. For now, we're safe, at least for a while." She stepped out, hands glowing softly, looking around cautiously. "They will come. They always do." He smiled gently. "Then we wait and prepare together." The night was quiet now, filled only with the sounds of the forest. For the first time, the alien woman felt a moment of relief, knowing she had someone to trust. The young man realized the danger was not over, but the bond between them had grown stronger. He said softly, "We survived tonight, and tomorrow we will find a way to keep you safe." She nodded, glowing faintly, a small smile forming. "Thank you, human, for not leaving me." But even as they rested in the clearing, unseen eyes watched from the shadows. The Empire's agents were patient, relentless, and dangerous. The escape had succeeded for now, but the real challenge was only beginning, and the young man knew that to protect her, he would need courage, cleverness, and perhaps more than he had ever imagined. The night stretched on, quiet but tense. The alien woman and the young man sat together, hands touching, hearts racing. They were not just survivors, they were partners, fighting against impossible odds. And deep in the forest, the hum of machines grew faint, a reminder that the Empire was still out there, waiting. The escape was only the first step in a journey that would test everything they believed in, and every secret they had yet to uncover. The forest was quiet, but the air was thick with tension. The young man and the alien woman crouched behind a fallen tree, catching their breath after the escape. The glow from her hands illuminated the darkness. Faint and comforting, she stared into the distance, eyes wide, and whispered, "They are still looking for me. They never stop." He nodded, his heart heavy. "Then we need to understand who you are and why they want you so badly." She hesitated, her glowing hands pulsing softly. I have not told anyone, not even my own kind. I am not like them. The Empire, they rule with fear. They take those who are weak. And those who are different, I was different, weak. And they wanted to use me for experiments, to test my powers. The young man's eyes widened. Experiments? What kind of experiments? She shook her head, trembling. I cannot explain fully. It is dangerous, and you may not understand yet. He looked at her, determination in his eyes. Then show me. I want to understand. I want to help. Her gaze softened and a faint glow surrounded her. Very well. I will tell you, but you must promise to be careful. What I say may change everything. He nodded quickly. I promise. I will protect you, no matter what. She took a deep breath, her voice trembling. My people, the Empire, they believe in strength. Only the strongest deserve to live. They take children like me, weak or different, and test them to find who is powerful enough to serve them or to rule. I was supposed to fail, but I survived. My powers and grew stronger, faster than they expected. Now wait, they want to capture me, to control me, and to use me as a weapon, against my own kind, and humans too. The young man felt a chill run down his spine. So, they are dangerous, more than I imagined. She nodded, her glowing hands pulsing like a heartbeat. Yes, and they will not stop, until they get me, or destroy anyone who helps me. He clenched his fists. Then we fight. We cannot run forever. We must plan, and use your powers wisely. She looked at him carefully. You are human, but you understand. Most humans would leave me or kill me, out of fear. Why? Are you helping me? He smiled faintly. Because it is right. Because no one deserves to be hunted for being different. And because I cannot ignore someone in need, even if it is dangerous. Her eyes softened, a faint tear forming. I have never met anyone like you. Human, perhaps. There is hope. Even for me. They sat in silence, listening to the distant hum of Empire machines searching the forest. Then she leaned closer, whispering, There is more. A secret they do not know. Something hidden. Inside me. I can sense things. Events, danger. Even emotions. If I learn to control it fully, I can stop them. And perhaps protect others like me. But it is risky, and it may draw their attention even faster. The young man nodded. Then we learn together. Slowly, step by step, we will find a way to control it and keep you safe. No empire, no one, will take you from me. Her hands glowed brighter, almost like a heartbeat in the dark. I will try with you, but we must be careful. The Empire's reach is long. They are everywhere, and they have spies, even among humans, who will betray us. If they know I am here? He frowned. Then we need a plan. A safe place, allies, someone we can trust. We cannot face them alone, not yet. She nodded slowly. There is one place, hidden, deep beyond the forest, where the Empire rarely looks. It is dangerous to reach, but if we survive, it may be our only chance. But we cannot go now. We must wait, gather strength, and learn more. The young man looked at her, determination burning in his eyes. Then we wait, and prepare. We will train, understand your powers, and when the time comes, we strike, or escape, together. We are stronger than they think. The alien woman's glow dimmed slightly as she relaxed, leaning back against the fallen tree. For the first time, she felt a glimmer of hope. Knowing someone truly believed in her, the young man watched her carefully, understanding the weight of the secret she carried. The revelation had changed everything. They were no longer just two fugitives. They were part of a battle much bigger than themselves, a struggle between courage and cruelty, hope and fear, human and alien. As night fell deeper over the forest, the hum of distant machines faded slightly, but both knew the Empire was still watching, waiting and planning, the secret of her powers, her past, and the Empire's cruel intentions were only beginning to unfold. And the young man understood that to protect her, he would need not only courage but cleverness, patience, and trust beyond anything he had ever known. The journey ahead was dangerous, uncertain, and full of mysteries, but together they were ready to face it. The forest was silent, but the tension hung heavy in the air. The young man and the alien woman crouched behind a thick cluster of trees, their breath shallow and fast. She glowed faintly in the darkness, her hands trembling as if her energy knew the danger was near. They are coming, faster this time. The Empire. They never give up. She whispered, fear lacing her words. He nodded, gripping her hand tightly. Then we must be ready. This is the moment we cannot run. We have to face them. Together. The distant hum of machines grew louder and shadows danced between the trees. The alien woman's glowing hands pulsed rhythmically, illuminating the forest like a heartbeat. I can try. My power. It may be enough. But it is risky, she said softly. He looked into her glowing eyes, determination in his gaze. We have no choice. If we do not act now, they will capture you. Or worse. Suddenly, a group of agents appeared at the edge of the clearing, armed with strange weapons that glimmered under the moonlight. They are here. Too many, she whispered, panic creeping into her voice. The young man took a deep breath. Then we make a choice. Fight or escape. We decide together. She nodded, glowing brighter, the energy around her hands stretching into the shadows. For the first time, her powers were not small. They surged with strength controlled by fear, hope, and the desire to survive. The agents moved closer, their weapons scanning, their footsteps heavy and methodical. The young man raised his pipe, ready to defend, while she concentrated, energy building around her. A pulse of golden light shot out from her hands, striking the first agent, sending him flying backward. Others hesitated, their sensors confused by the sudden wave of energy. He shouted, now! Move, split them up! The alien woman ran forward, her glowing hands creating illusions of multiple versions of herself. The agents fired, but their weapons hit nothing but shadows, giving the young man a chance to strike and push back the nearest enemy. The forest became a blur of movement. Glowing light and chaos, she whispered. I can hold them, but not forever. You must choose. He frowned. Choose what? She looked at him, glowing softly. One path, one choice. We can escape now, but many may die if we leave them. Or we fight, all of them, risking everything, risking us. You must decide, human. His heart pounded, the weight of her words crushing him. He realized that this was more than survival. This was a test of courage, trust, and sacrifice. He looked into her eyes, seeing both fear and trust, and whispered, then we fight. Together, no one left behind. We face them, and we survive. Or we die trying. Her glow flared brightly, pulsing like a heartbeat across the clearing. She nodded. Then, together, human, we are stronger than they think. The battle began with a blinding pulse of energy, her hands sending waves of golden light across the clearing. Agents fell one by one, their weapons failing against her power. The young man fought alongside her, swinging his pipe and using every trick he knew to protect her. She moved like a force of nature, glowing hands creating shields, illusions, and blasts. The forest shook from the impact, trees falling, leaves flying, but they pressed forward, unstoppable. Suddenly, the largest agent appeared, moving faster than the rest, his weapon glowing with deadly energy. The alien woman froze for a moment, fear gripping her. He is strong. The young man stepped in front of her, blocking the path. Then we face him. Together. She nodded, glowing brighter than ever. Combining her energy with his courage, they struck together, a pulse of light and force that sent the agent crashing into the forest. Defeated silence fell, broken only by their heavy breathing. The clearing littered with defeated enemies. The alien woman sank to the ground. Exhausted, her glow fading, the young man knelt beside her, placing a hand on hers. We did it. We survived, together. She looked up at him, tears in her glowing eyes. You trusted me, even when everything was dangerous. I never thought anyone would care like you do, human. He smiled softly. Because it is right. Because you deserve life, hope, and freedom. No empire, no one can take that away. Not while I am here. She leaned her head against his shoulder, glowing softly, finally at peace for the first time. The forest was quiet now, the danger gone. For now. But the young man knew their journey was far from over. Many challenges, mysteries, and secrets still awaited. They rose together, hands still glowing softly, and looked toward the horizon. For the first time they were free. But freedom came with responsibility, courage, and trust. The alien woman whispered, "Thank you, human, for choosing me, for believing in me. I will never forget." He smiled, "And I will never forget you. And everything we survived together. This is only the beginning, but together, we can face anything." As dawn broke, light spread across the forest, glinting off her faintly glowing hands. The Empire may have hunted her, but hope, courage, and trust had won tonight. They walked forward side by side into an uncertain future. Two unlikely allies bound by survival, choice, and the power of hope, and the forest around them seemed to hold its breath, knowing that the story of the human and the alien had only just begun.